So, I don't know if you remember this, but on the front page of the New York Times on November 7th, there was an article titled, "A Neuroscientific Look at Speaking in Tongues." Now, I also found an article on the subject from newswire.com published October 30th. Here's the abstract. Quote, "Glossolalia, otherwise referred to as speaking in tongues, has been around for thousands of years. Now, in a first-of-its-kind study, scientists are shining light on this mysterious practice, attempting to explain what actually happens physiologically to the brain of someone while speaking in tongues." End quote. And here's the caption from the article's pictures. Quote, "From a new brain imaging study at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine, SPECT scans were taken of subjects while worshiping versus speaking in tongues." End quote. These images show the level of activity in the brain, so let me show them to you. Quote, "The speaking in tongue images primarily show a decrease of brain activity in the frontal lobes, which is what normally makes us feel as if we're in control. There was also a decrease in the activity in the left basal ganglia, which is involved with focusing attention and emotional responses. Finally, the thalamus activity increased during speaking in tongues, which supports it as an active state of the brain." End quote. Pretty interesting, eh? But am I convinced that there's a Holy Spirit? No. I am convinced, however, that speaking in tongues is a special state, sort of like meditating. And like meditating, you don't need a delusion to do it. I'm going to demonstrate. Okay, so I think when I do this, I need to think of a higher power. You might be able to do it without one, but I'm going to invoke something. What should I use? Well, it should be something real and greater. Something understandable. Something I can visualize. What do you think, George Carlin?
So rather than be just another mindless religious robot, mindlessly and aimlessly and blindly believing that all of this is in the hands of some spooky, incompetent father figure who doesn't give a shit, I decided to look around for something else to worship, something I could really count on. And immediately, I thought of the sun. Happened like that. Overnight, I became a sun worshiper. Well, not overnight. You can't see the sun at night. But first thing the next morning, I became a sun worshiper.
Okay, so you should watch the rest of that. I responded to it and copied the link. It's hilarious. Anyways, later he says not to pray, not to impede on the friendship. That's fine. I'm not going to ask the sun for any favors. I'm just going to feel its presence and focus on its energy. All the chemical energy in our bodies comes from the sun. Think about it. When plants photosynthesize, they convert the sun's energy into chemical energy. Animals eat that for their energy, so whatever we fuel ourselves with, be it plant or animal, its energy comes from the sun. The sun also heats the earth, powers some of its systems. Folks, without the sun, we do not exist. Alright, so here it goes. Okay, so this demonstration would work better outside as the sun is outside, but I work with what I can. Alright. So, I'm going to extend my arms forward, roll my shoulders back, open myself up, and keep my palms flat. I want to feel the tension in my arms. I'm going to squeeze my eyes shut, and just feel the power. Think of the energy. The energy is from the sun. The sun sustains me. The sun is bigger than me. Think of the sun. Think of the sun. Think of the sun. And I'm just gonna focus, and I'm gonna let the tongues just flow. Do that, and you'll feel something. Now do that in a group where everyone is doing it for an extended period of time, and you'll feel something great. The actual Holy Spirit? I doubt it. Listen, although you may be proselytized, you don't have Jesus come to you. You accept him into your heart. We can have God and spirituality be very real inside ourselves. But is there a God beyond ourselves? I don't think so.